Let's take a tour through the Advising Worksheet. This video is made with version 5-2 of the worksheet, so there may be some minor differences if you're watching this after an update has come out. And to keep the file size of this video down, I'm using a smaller window, and I'll zoom in to the various areas of the worksheet to make it easier to read. Now I'll pretend that I'm working with a sample student, and I'll throw in parenthetical comments to you, the viewing audience. As I often do in my math classes, I like to make my examples a little more interesting, so I'll be advising Otto the monkey. It's silly, but it keeps me entertained. And this worksheet is convenient enough that a monkey could use it by himself, but for illustrative purposes, I'll be helping him out. So, Otto comes into my office, we exchange pleasantries, we sit down. After finding out his major, I pull up the appropriate version of the worksheet, since it's customized for different programs, and explain what the worksheet is and how it will be saved on my computer to help us in future advising sessions. And then he'll be leaving today with a printed copy of what we discuss. I emphasize that this is an unofficial document meant for planning purposes only, and that Otto still needs to officially register for whatever classes he picks. In this example, Otto wants to do our partnership with Cumberland University to get a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So that's the specific worksheet I've pulled up. We'll suspend our disbelief and not dwell on the implications of a monkey working in healthcare for now. Now personally, I like to do a quick save as in the beginning so I don't accidentally save over the template. I put Otto's name in the title so I can quickly pull it up the next time Otto contacts me. Now after filling out the top portion with names and contact information, emphasizing how easy it is for Otto to contact me with questions and concerns, Otto the monkey, and I put his information, and I put my name and my email address and my phone number and so on in the contact information. Emphasizing how easy it is for Otto to contact me with questions and concerns and encouraging him to do so, we focus our attention on the section on the left, My Courses. So we'll zoom in for the video. Now, let's suppose this is not Otto's first semester as a college student. I pull up his transcript and banner, and I indicate here which requirements he's already satisfied. So let's say Otto has taken English 1010 as a dual enrollment student through Vol State, and then he went to some other school and took Art 1030 and Biology 2010 and Psych 1030 and History 2010. So I'm going to enter his grades for those courses just so I can keep a running idea of how he's progressing GPA-wise. So he took English 1010, and suppose he got an A in that, and that was a Vol State. Okay, now you could, of course, always just pick Done here if you didn't want to mess with the grades. But I like to be able to have a visual idea of what Otto has done and how he's doing. So let's say he got that A in English 1010 and maybe a B in Art. Well, there's no art in here. We'll get to these selections in a bit, but he took that Fine Arts course, and suppose he got a B in that. Doesn't really make a big difference, but that reminds me that that was a transfer class. And suppose that he also got a B in Biology 2010. And suppose he got an A in General Psychology. And a D in History. Well, that D in History is not going to transfer, so he's going to have to take the course again, so I'm not even going to enter that. But you could select a D in there if you wanted to, or an F. Alright, now notice that when I put those grades in, it's marked that class as completed, because he doesn't need to do that anymore. I also need to check his test scores, and I look in Banner and I see that he scored, say, 17 on his Math ACT, which means that he needs to take Math 0810, Learning Support Math. So I scroll down here to the bottom, and I enter that in the other category. Now for these other learning support courses, it's important that we pick something from the list. And then I enter in the hours there, which is 3 hours. It's a 3-hour course. And the reason why that's important is down here at the bottom, when it updates the hours, since I selected that from the list, the worksheet formulas know that that 3 hours doesn't count towards the total university hours. Alright, now when we select an other course down here, enter in electives and whatnot, I need to manually enter the number of credit hours because there are way too many courses in our catalog for me to program it in for the worksheet to automatically enter the hours for everything. And since Otto needs to take Math 1130 later in his courses, I know that he needs to take the prerequisite for that, Math 1000 pre-college algebra, which is a 3-hour course as well. And so I go ahead and enter that. Oops. All right. Now, of course, there's no way to know right now if Otto will need to take Math 0810 or Math 0830, since those are only taken if the student doesn't complete all the learning support competencies. So we'll enter those in if we need to later on. Now, we're going to go back to the top of the course list and show Otto what his choices are. The blue-gray cells are ones that the user can edit. The white cells are locked. That's really just a precaution so the user doesn't accidentally change a requirement or a worksheet formula that could mess something up. Advanced users who want to edit things could always go up to the Review tab in Excel and unprotect the worksheet. So up here, Review and Unprotect. But I wouldn't recommend it, just to be safe. For these general education requirements, I explained to Otto that the cells are restricted to a drop-down list of the courses that satisfy that requirement. So for communications, it only lets him pick from the 2 courses that the college has recognized as satisfying the communications requirement. If I try to select something else, it gives me an error. It pops up. It says only certain courses may be used to satisfy this requirement. Okay. So, this way the advisor and the advisee both know that the general education courses selected in the worksheet will meet the requirements. I also show Otto that these options will be listed on the back of the printout over here. So he'll be able to look at the full list on his own. I also let Otto know that we've changed the names of some of the courses in the catalog, and this worksheet has all of the new names. So it's not COM 100 anymore, it's Speech 1010 and Speech 103. The information that Otto sees in print or online may have some of the old names. Now, since I advise a lot of pre-nursing students, I know to tell Otto that while Cumberland is happy with either of these communications courses, I know several of the area BSN programs specifically want public speaking, while the rest, like Cumberland, don't care. So to keep his options open in case he doesn't get into Cumberland or he changes his mind, I advise Otto to take Speech 103. Now I tell Otto that he does not need to make all of these choices today, and I remind him that the choices he makes here are not final. He can change his mind later. The cell will still be this bluish-gray color, so he will always be able to quickly see which of these course requirements allow for a choice. Now, to the viewing audience, I want to clarify the literature and humanities selections here. In a lot of the pieces of information, you'll see 9 hours of humanities and fine arts with at least 3 hours of literature. To make the worksheet work and force the student to select one literature course, I had to break it down as 1 lit course and 2 humanities fine arts. But the list of humanities fine arts includes all of those literatures as well as the art and music and philosophy and theater and so on. Okay. Now, I point out to Otto that he could, of course, take literatures for all of those. But, as with the case with the communications, since a lot of the nursing schools specifically want a philosophy and a fine arts, I would advise Otto to take Intro to Philosophy for his other humanities fine arts. And that is the end of part 1 of the example. There's one more video to watch. Stay tuned.